Let's get Dr. Manivanan first, because Dr. Manivanan, this debate has really triggered off by Udhayanidhi Stalin's debates, which are now being picked up by the Prime Minister, by others. His comments on Sanatana Dharma have been seen by the BJP and many others as offensive, to link a religion to dengue, malaria. How do you see it? Do you believe this is Dravida identity politics speaking out, or do you believe Udhayanidhi Stalin went a step too far?
I don't think that, this Udhayanidhi Stalin has went a step further, or this debate has been there in India for a very, very long time. And for instance, that, what he had said, it has to be taken in the context. It has to be taken in the context of the social justice politics that has been deliberated in a state like Tamil Nadu and the southern parts of the country for a very, very long time. And the reference, the metaphor may have been misplaced, but the point is very, very clear. The eradication of the caste system, the caste oppression, that is the very, very objective point of this whole debate. And in a way that how this has been turned into a kind of the references to genocidal violence and eradication of the Hindus. And these are all the twists and turns and interpretations with a political motivation. But why don't we place this debate in a perspective like Sanatana Dharma versus social justice? Let's remove this dengue and the disease point. If people feel offended by references to the dengue and the references to the mosquitoes and the fever, but imagine the conditions of people, the oppressed people, for over centuries and centuries, and what has been the condition of these people.
So you're saying he was trying to focus on the social justice movement, but the metaphors used were clearly very, very deeply unfortunate and regrettable, Sumanth, Raman. Do you believe Udhayanidhi Stalin and then A. Raja simply went out of control? A. Raja likening Sanatana Dharma to AIDS. Do you believe these are deliberate and therefore, or do you believe it is, as is being suggested by the professor, part of a continuum? This is how Dravida politics has expressed itself.
Rajdeep, first of all, we have to understand that Udhayanidhi did not say anything that has not been said by his seniors in the DMK and his predecessors from the parent party, the DK and so on, all for the last 55 to 60 years. The Dravidian movement is essentially a movement of wealthy, landed, so-called intermediate communities, removing the oppression, oppression as it were portrayed of the Brahmins, and replacing it with their own oppression of the Dalits by the intermediate caste. So this whole Dravidian movement is as much a movement based on a hateful ideology and with the garb and the cover of social justice which is put there. So it's very similar in many ways to Hindutva. In fact, I have multiple times said they are two sides of the same coin, except that their targets of hate are different. Now, the point is, Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin did not say, I want to eradicate caste. He said we must eradicate Sanatana Dharma. That is where the problem comes in, because the perception of the term Sanatana Dharma is quite different in Tamil Nadu as propagated by the DMK and different in the rest of the country. And even within Tamil Nadu, there are people who don't accept that Sanatana Dharma is actually the caste system. But there is a very big debate which happens on that. Now, my point is, why after this was called out, the BJP knows the DMK has been saying the same thing for decades. They never made a big issue of this earlier. Suddenly, before the election time, this becomes a national issue. Everybody from the Prime Minister, Defense Minister, Finance Minister, Home Minister, everybody talks about it, and it becomes an election campaign issue. The loser in this is not the DMK. The DMK is not saying anything new, and they know that it will not create even a minor dent in their vote bank. It may consolidate their vote bank. It will also appeal more to they believe that it may appeal to the minorities as well, who are solidly behind them. The loser will be the Congress, and not in Tamil Nadu, but in the Hindi belt. And the fact that the DMK has continued to double down on the same thing, even after it was pointed out, to me, I don't think it's an accident. There is some plan behind this whole thing. And I'm sure that in the weeks or months ahead, we will come to know why they are doubling down on it, in spite of knowing that it is going to embarrass the Congress, it is going to embarrass the Shiv Sena, it is going to embarrass JDU, it is going to embarrass so many other members of the alliance.
Okay. Sanju Verma, embarrassing or not, the BJP has gone on the front foot on it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday saying the opposition is plotting to finish Sanatana Dharma. Is the BJP now going to use what Udhayanidhi Stalin said to, suggest Hindu khatre mein hai, project the opposition as anti-Hindu? Is that a bit of a stretch to suggest, based on Udhayanidhi Stalin's statement, which, as both my guests have said, is part of the Dravida ideology? This is statements they've been making for the longest time. They'll say this goes back to Periyar, this staunch attack on what is seen as Brahminical Hinduism.
Okay, now let me just make a couple of points very clear. Suppose I do not like Rajdeep Sardesai's style of journalism. Should I say I want Rajdeep Sardesai's head on the platter? Suppose Rajdeep Sardesai does not like the fact that Sanju Verma is a huge Andha Bhakt and a Modi Bhakt. Should he say that I want to cancel out Sanju Verma and I don't want her on my shows, chop off her head? The limited point I'm making is, suppose you don't like a certain aspect of a certain religion. Are you going to say do away with and eradicate, annihilate the entire religion? Udhayanidhi Stalin and A. Raja did not say eradicate the caste system within Hinduism. They said eradicate Sanatana Dharma. So there is a difference. Let's not try to be cleverer by half. There is a difference between saying eradicate Sanatana Dharma and eradicate
Sumanth Raman ma'am is saying that Sanatana Dharma has a very different context and connotation in Tamil Nadu than it has in the rest of the country.
Can I finish? Did you interrupt any of your other panelists?
Please do.
Why do you have this bad habit? Or should I keep quiet? You can go ahead. I will not talk because you don't give the BJP. Please do not interrupt me, Rajdeep Sardesai.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am. I'm not
Thank
going.
you.
Yes. Friday night, I'm in a very leisurely mood. Go ahead. Go ahead, ma'am.
Once you're done with your, jocular Friday night churlish behavior, I will come in. Because, I noticed that you have nothing of importance to say when the others are
Ma'am,
talking,
I'm asking you, ma'am, let's not do this again. Let's not make it personal. I ask you again. Do you believe that Sanatana Dharma, as used by Udhayanidhi Stalin, is in a way, according to those in the Dravida movement, very different from the way Sanatana Dharma is perceived in North India?
I just want to ask you one thing. Why should I take lessons on Sanatana Dharma from Udhayanidhi Stalin, who is a crypto-Christian? Why should I, as a practicing Hindu, take lessons on Sanatana Dharma from A. Raja, who's a baptized Christian and who still has the audacity to contest the last 3 consecutive Lok Sabha seats from the Nilgiris, which is a seat reserved for scheduled caste and Dalits? As a practicing Hindu, why should I take lessons on Sanatana Dharma from another crypto-Christian, T.R. Balu, who's a DMK leader and who, a couple of years back had said that all Hindus and practicing Hindus are equal to terrorists? Should I take lessons on Sanatana Dharma from people who say that we don't like the caste system within Hinduism, but this is the same lot which has never spoken against polygamy within Islam, which has never spoken against halala within Islam, which has never spoken about the fact that when the rest of the world, including major Islamic nations, are saying that hijab is a regressive piece of clothing, this is the same lot which under the garb of choice says hijab is progressive. Should I take lessons on Sanatana Dharma from people like Priyanka Khadge, whose father, Mallikarjun Kharge, who happens to be the Congress president, said on the eve of 2019 elections, इस बार मोदी को हराना है, नहीं तो यदि नरेंद्र मोदी दोबारा सत्ता में आए तो हिंदू राष्ट्र बन जाएगा. Who brought religion into politics? It is Mallikarjun Kharge. Should I take lessons on Sanatana Dharma from the likes of Shashi Tharoor, who said that getting Narendra Modi back to power in 2019 means the resurgence of Hindu Taliban? Should I take lessons on Sanatana Dharma from Rahul Gandhi, who calls himself a Dattatreya called Brahmin, but in the same breath says that ये हिंदुत्ववादी वाले सारे आतंकवादी होते हैं? Should I take lessons on Sanatana Dharma from the likes of Priyanka Vadra, who I don't know if she's a baptized Christian, a crypto-Christian, or a practicing Hindu? Should I take lessons, last but not the least, should I take lessons on Sanatana Dharma from M.K. Stalin, who believes in missionary mafia, who believes in the people with white robes who are willing to convert you for a bag of rice, but feels that Hindu religion is regressive? कहाँ से आते हैं ये लोग?
Okay.
Should I Should
Ma'am,
believe in the
I have
politics?
I
Should
allowed
believe
you
in the
I have allowed you
politics
to continue uninterrupted because you say wanted to be heard. I've listened to you.